Hello everyone. There's a new monster at Dominion Creek. Parker Schnabel has added a $1 million powerhouse to his arsenal, the Golden Goose, the fifth wash plant in his lineup of gold processing machines. Designed to outwork and outclean everything before it, this plant is Parker's boldest move this season. As the crew sets it up to replace the aging Sluicifer, the pressure is sky high. With gold production declining, Parker needs this new machine to start paying for itself on day one. Welcome to the era of the Golden Goose. The Golden Goose is on the ground, and Parker Schnabel is wasting no time putting his $1 million machine to work. Wash plant expert Jeff Turnell is helping Parker's mechanics assemble the Golden Goose, which includes several modifications intended to make it more efficient than a conventional setup. The plant features extended sluice runs and changes to the deck that are designed to improve its ability to process material while maintaining gold recovery. These upgrades are especially important because Parker's entire strategy depends on pushing more yardage through his plants without sacrificing too much gold in the process. Then comes one of the most difficult stages of the installation, getting the approximately 45-ton wash plant onto its hydraulic skids. This is not something the crew can accomplish with brute force alone. A crane and loader must carefully maneuver the massive machine into exactly the right position. With such an enormous piece of equipment suspended in the air, even a small alignment error can prevent the pins from fitting into place. The situation becomes even more dangerous because the crane is operating close to its maximum lifting capacity. As the enormous weight causes the boom to drift, the crew has to make constant adjustments to keep the Golden Goose under control. Everyone involved knows that there is very little room for error. A machine this heavy cannot simply be pushed into position once it is hanging in the air. After several tense moments, however, the crew finally manages to align the plant with the hydraulic skids. The pins line up and lock into place, marking a major victory for Parker's team. The most difficult part of the installation is complete, but there is still plenty of work to do before the Golden Goose can begin producing gold. While Jeff and the mechanics continue installing the remaining components, Parker's mining crew is racing to prepare the material that will feed the plant. The Golden Goose is hauled toward its prepared pad while the final pay continues to come out of the Golden Mile. The entire operation is effectively working against the clock. Parker has already spent the money, the plant is nearly ready, and the gold-bearing material is waiting. Now everything depends on getting the two sides connected as quickly as possible. The pressure is especially intense because Parker's operation is already running below its potential capacity. Shutting down the Golden Mile reduced production, and every hour of lost sluicing represents an opportunity Parker cannot recover. At the scale of his operation, even a single day of downtime can have significant financial consequences. Fuel, labor, heavy equipment, maintenance, and other operating expenses continue to accumulate whether the wash plants are producing gold or sitting idle. If Parker can successfully get the new plant running at the expected capacity, he could process a tremendous amount of material during the final stages of the season. Instead of allowing the Golden Mile shutdown to derail his production schedule, he is attempting to compensate by increasing his processing capacity. It is classic Parker Schnabel. When one part of the operation creates a problem, he looks for another way to push forward. The Golden Goose also represents the fifth wash plant in Parker's growing machinery fleet, joining Sluicifer, Big Red, Roxanne, and Bob. That number alone illustrates how far Parker's mining business has come. He has built an operation capable of deploying multiple wash plants and moving enormous amounts of material simultaneously. With the addition of the Golden Goose, Parker has demonstrated that he is willing to keep expanding his equipment fleet if he believes the investment can generate more gold. The possibility of running 4 wash plants simultaneously is particularly significant. It represents a level of production capacity that would be extraordinary even by the standards of Gold Rush. Parker's operation has grown from a relatively small mining venture into a highly organized and heavily mechanized business. His willingness to invest millions of dollars into equipment and infrastructure has become one of the defining characteristics of his approach to mining. But the Golden Goose is still a gamble. Spending approximately $1 million on a wash plant does not guarantee success. The machine still has to perform under real mining conditions. Parker needs strong recovery, high throughput, reliable operation, and minimal downtime. If any of those elements fail, the investment could become a major burden rather than the solution Parker is hoping for. The stakes are also higher because Parker has already invested heavily in his operation. Cannot simply throw money at every problem indefinitely. Every new machine has to justify its cost by producing enough additional gold to make the investment worthwhile. That means the Golden Goose will eventually have to prove itself in the only way that really matters in mining, by putting gold on the scale. For now though, Parker has done everything he can. The plant has been assembled, carefully lifted onto its skids, aligned with its pad and prepared for its first major assignment. The crew has stockpiled enormous amounts of pay, and the Golden Goose is being positioned directly where Parker needs it. The next step is the most important one of all: firing up the plant and putting it to work. If the Golden Goose performs as expected, Parker could regain some of the production loss during the Golden Mile shutdown and finish the season with another impressive surge. More processing capacity could allow him to move through his stockpiles faster, keep his crew productive and maximize the amount of gold recovered before the season ends. More importantly, the Golden Goose demonstrates something about Parker's approach that has become increasingly clear over the years. He is not satisfied with simply repeating what worked in the past. Sluicifer may have helped define his recent success, but Parker is already looking toward the next generation of equipment. He is constantly searching for ways to increase yardage, improve recovery, reduce downtime, and make his operation more efficient. That willingness to invest and adapt is one of Parker's greatest strengths as a mining boss. The Golden Goose is not just another wash plant. It is a statement about where Parker wants his operation to go. The $1 million machine has arrived at Dominion Creek. The pay is waiting, the crew is ready, and Parker has no intention of slowing down. Now the question is whether the Golden Goose can live up to its name. If it can handle the enormous workload Parker has planned for it, this new monster plant could become one of the most important investments of his season, and potentially the machine that helps turn a production setback into another major gold victory. The timing of the Golden Goose could not be more important. Parker and his crew have been dealing with a major production setback after shutting down the Golden Mile, one of the biggest and most valuable cuts at Dominion Creek. With gold production falling and a huge amount of material still waiting to be processed, Parker needs to find a way to increase his sluicing capacity as quickly as possible. Rather than simply accepting the loss of production, he has chosen to spend approximately $1 million on a completely new wash plant. The Golden Goose is expected to process more material than any other wash plant on Parker's operation while maintaining strong gold recovery and improved uptime. For a mining boss who constantly pushes his crew and equipment to their limits, those improvements could be extremely valuable. Parker does not simply need another machine. He needs a plant capable of processing enormous amounts of pay without becoming another bottleneck. Interestingly, Parker is not planning to bring Sluicifer back into production even though the legendary plant is ready to operate again. Sluicifer has played a major role in Parker's recent success, but Parker has decided to keep it parked for the remainder of the season. Instead, his plan is to finish the season with Big Red, the Golden Mile, and the new Golden Goose. It is a decision that demonstrates just how much Parker's operation has evolved. He is no longer simply trying to keep his existing equipment running. He is actively reshaping his operation around greater capacity and efficiency. The arrival of the Golden Goose could also have a much bigger impact on Parker Schnabel's future than simply helping him finish the current season at Dominion Creek. By investing heavily in new processing capacity, Parker is showing that he is preparing his operation for the next level rather than simply reacting to the problems in front of him. Season 16 has already demonstrated how aggressively Parker is willing to expand his equipment and production capabilities, with the Golden Goose becoming another major piece of that strategy. As Gold Rush moves toward Season 17, Parker's experience with this $1 million wash plant could influence how he approaches his next mining season, particularly when deciding which ground to pursue, how much material to stockpile, and how much processing capacity he needs to turn promising pay into actual gold. If the Golden Goose proves capable of handling the enormous workload Parker has planned for it, it could give him valuable experience in running an even larger and more efficient operation. Season 17 could therefore represent another step in Parker's evolution from a young miner chasing gold into a highly ambitious mining boss building a long-term business. The Golden Goose may have been purchased to solve one immediate problem at Dominion Creek, but its success could ultimately become part of the blueprint for Parker's next big push in Gold Rush. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates from Dominion Creek.